Hello, Freedom Nation. It's Jeff here once again with another episode of the Freedom Nation podcast. And on today's show, I've got Walker Ferguson. And Walker is a unique cat. He didn't really think that the corporate route was going to be good for him. He's actually still a student at Wake Forest University in his senior year. So he has actually started a company that we're going to talk about today. So make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back with you in a second.
All in you. Everything you're looking for, it's all in you. You gotta believe that it's all in you. Everything you're searching for, it's all.
Hey everybody, it's Jeff here once again, and I've got Walker Ferguson on with me. Walker, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show.
I am glad to have you on. I'm really looking forward to our conversation, learning a little bit about how you kind of decided to say, you know what, it's better to start my own show than somebody else's. So why don't we kick off? Tell us your story. How'd you get to where you are today?
Yeah, no, 100%. So, from Richmond, Virginia. I grew up in the same house my whole life. Played everything with a ball growing up. Football, basketball, baseball, you name it, lacrosse. That kind of went until I got to high school, and I really honed in on football and lacrosse.
Okay.
Lacrosse was my first love. Ended up playing football in college. Went to Wake to play football, where I majored in economics, minor in communications. So like you said, I'm wrapping up now. But my freshman year in the summer of 2021, that's when I met my business partner and best friend, Hampton Tanner, who's unbelievable, one of the smartest dudes I've ever met. And we went through a time, sophomore year, where we weren't playing. We're still on scout team, not traveling. Things on the home front weren't great, and learning how to breathe kind of brought us out of some really bad or tough times in our life, per se. And luckily for us, we had a subscription to VAP Calm through our athletic department, and we liked how it gave base meditations, base sleep stories, and obviously nobody beats like an Adam Sklar and Matthew McConaughey voice, but nothing felt for what I was going through in that moment, right? So at that moment, this is a little bit down the line, but Hampton transfers to Georgetown, and he calls me in February of 2024, and he said, "Walker, I know what we're going to do." I was like, "All right, what's that?" He's like, "We're going to create a meditation app using artificial intelligence that essentially offers people personalized meditations, sleep stories, and then what we call meditation plans, where essentially an athlete can put in a specific goal and have it broken up into actionable steps. Because as we know, as athletes, everything starts in the mind, and being able to visualize your success is huge in different facets." So that's kind of how the idea started, from a personal need, a little bit about my story from an athletic background, and how I've translated that directly into what I'm doing today.
I love it. I love it. And I mean, you're doing the thing that is the most popular today, and that's AI.
Sure.
I really love the personalized approach to it. I was watching something the other day about the World War II Museum in New Orleans, and that's kind of what they've done with like one of the components. And I'd been there recently and hadn't seen it, so it must be really, really new. But literally, they have a veteran, an AI version of a veteran sitting there, and you can ask them questions, and it basically tells their story through those type of questions that you're asking. And it was basically going in and figuring out all these possible questions and then doing that. So I love the fact that it can be personalized and it's not just a canned approach. So yes, it's not Matthew McConaughey, but personalized, I think, is a little bit better. So tell me a little bit about how you got started with that. I mean, I know your partner, is he kind of the tech guy and you're the marketing guy, or?
Not at all. Yeah, we're both X's and O's guys. We're both operational.
Nice.
So, I'm a true firm believer that life's all about relationships. And, Jim Collins said it best in the book, Good to Great. You got to get the right people on the bus, the who before the what. And once you get the who, the bus starts rolling. So a little bit how it started is, when Hamp called me in February 24 and we had the idea, right after that, we just got a piece of paper. We just basically created like our vision board of where we wanted to go. And a business plan that was, needed some work, but we got it on the paper, right? And like I said, life's about relationships. Me and him had a tough time in Spanish at Wake, and he had to retake Spanish at Georgetown because his credits didn't transfer. And a student who actually taught himself computer science, who was 29 years old, worked at Merrill Lynch for a little bit and came back to school because he wanted his computer science degree, and that's what he felt like he was called to do. Him and Hampton formulated a beautiful relationship, and he wanted to build the app that summer. So we brought in another guy because he was also head of the computer science club at Georgetown.
Okay.
So that summer it was me and Hampton who we got a provisional patent, trademark logos, figured out our marketing approach, and started reaching out to people. And then Colin and Gordon were unbelievable, and they got the MVP out in September. And then we've added a decent amount of people to the team from there to help us grow and scale. But a huge shout out to the guys too at Winston Starts in Winston-Salem. There's startup accelerators. They help small
Nice.
startups scale. And they've been helping us, every step of the way. So I'm truly thankful for them and all their mentorship.
Well, I mean, you're wise beyond your years, bud. I mean, as far as being able to say, okay, let's reach out, let's figure out who we can do, build relationships. That's going to be the key. I mean, that's what's going to be the key to your success is continuing to develop and, find more relationships like that as you go. Now, are you guys bootstrapping the whole thing, or do you have
100, yes.
investors or?
So as of right now, we haven't raised a single dime.
Okay.
All bootstrapped, which has been amazing because I've learned so much and learned how to get things done with on a tight budget. But that's the May. We're actually doing our seed round in May, so it's coming up.
Well, I mean, but the thing with that is when you bootstrap it like that, there's too many people I think that get money early and they think they've made it. Oh well, we've got investors in. Well, you've already given up, half of your company before you even get started at that point.
Me and Hamp early on were very adamant about bootstrapping. We wanted to get it as far as we possibly could before we brought in investors, so we get the highest valuation. So yeah, we were on the same mindset there.
No, and like I said, I would highly recommend that as long as you can go. Just bootstrap and build it and try and make it profitable as much as you can. Read the book Profit First and put that into place from day one, and you'll be awesome. So tell us a little bit about how the app works. What the subscription plan I'm assuming is for it and all that.
Yeah, no, 100%. So when you first open the app, and I was going to announce this at the end too, but there is going to be a different rebuild in the next couple of weeks. But as of right now, essentially we're on iOS. We're about 5 days away from the Android store as well, so we'll be compatible on both. But essentially you open the app, right? You fill out some base information. So it's just like, name, birthday, meditation experience. And what are your goals for the app, right? Are you want to improve focus, cultivate gratitude, whatever that may be? And then what type of meditation resonates with you the most? Is it body scans? Is it visualization, whatever that may be? So after you fill out that little personalization quiz, then we have some information about you where we can give you suggestions. But essentially you're opened up to a screen. There's a big blue button that says create meditation. So from there, all you have suggestions based on the quiz you took, but you can click the create meditation button and you can type, it's literally like ChatGPT. You can type in literally anything that's going on, right? So I could say, I have a big podcast coming up, super nervous. Could you give me a meditation, help me calm down and perform my best? And it would actually create that meditation for me on the spot. You'd select a voice, a background, and then a link for that meditation. And then within 5 to 10 seconds, it's generated. Very similar process for the sleep stories. Create sleep story, theme, genre, setting. You make yourself the character, create your own personalized sleep story. And then the last feature in the app that I really love is the meditation plans. And with our niche too, because early on we were advised to stay within our niche, right? Like hone in on the student athletes because that's who our network is. That's how we can build and grow. And the meditation plans have been so helpful because an athlete can actually put in a specific goal and be like, I want to become a starter on the Wake Forest football team my senior year. I'm going to do this, and this to achieve my goal, and actually break it up into like different facets to see yourself achieving it. So that's been super helpful. But that's essentially the app and its core functionality.
I love it. I love it. So are you charging for that now, or is it is still kind of a free?
So we're on a freemium model. So you do get 3 meditations a week, 3 sleep stories, and then a meditation plan.
Okay.
And then if you go beyond that, it's a subscription model. Yes, sir.
Sure.
As well as there's other avenues as well. We're actually working with a couple universities right now to essentially get into their athletic departments where the school will pay us and then every single athlete will get a free membership from their .edu.
Perfect. Yeah, and it's much easier than having a whole bunch of little tiny subscriptions, have one big chunk in subscription and go from there. Well, and I think that whoever gave you that advice, it was absolutely perfect because, these athletic departments have huge budgets. No matter what you charge them, it's not going to be anything that'll even scratch the surface of their budget at that point. And it's something that you've personally used yourself, techniques. And it sounds like I didn't realize how much that had been brought into the athletics programs as much with meditation and stuff like that.
It's definitely new, but it's definitely on the rise for sure.
Okay. Cool.
Yes, sir.
So what's kind of the next, with this new build and everything else? What other functionality is going to come in?
Yeah, so essentially right now we don't have like a home page. So we have
Okay.
like when you open it up, we have the create meditation page, but we don't have a way for you to track progress, all
Mhm.
that good stuff. So first off, we're adding a new home page in.
Okay.
And then an information page as well, right? So applicability and tangibility. We're gonna have stats, videos, prompts that the athletes can see where they can enter in so they actually know how to use the app,
Okay.
as well as some testimonials from videos we've already gotten that we can implement into
Yeah.
the app. And then for like the user flow, the app's going to look a lot different as well. Basically, for like to drive like premium users, right? Because
Mhm.
right now we're in the freemium tier.
Sure.
A lot of people don't even realize you can subscribe. So we'll have like different voices, backgrounds for like premium
Mhm.
users, and then like the free tier. But the app overall too, with like animations, just the way it looks, the visual aesthetic is it's going to be a game changer compared to what we have now.
Yeah.
Because right now we essentially do just have the MVP up.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the most important thing to test at this point. Are you
Yes, sir.
going to have? Trying to think of what I had it in my head, and then I was listening to you, and it completely went away. So, is it just on iPhone and Android, or is there any kind of like a for tablets or anything like that?
So as of right now, it's going to be just iPhones on, yeah, iPhones and Android.
Okay,
Working on the iPads, but that's a little tricky with like the screen resolution
sure.
and spitting and all that good stuff. So
Yeah,
definitely in the future.
yeah. It's a little tweak here and there, move things
Yeah,
around, but yeah, it's
yeah.
that. Yeah, you don't need to be spending money on that right now. So where do you see this going? I mean, you're graduating this year. Sounds like you two really, I mean, did you give equity to some of these other guys that helped to develop it?
So we did. We have, as of right now, four of us in the company
Got
have
it.
equity. The two developers, and then Hampton and I from the summer,
Yeah.
what we call the core. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at there. But moving forward, you know, I'm just super excited. I'm so grateful for everyone on the team. I really want to try to get a couple of contracts with schools while I'm still in
Yeah.
school, right? In May. But I really do think it's limitless. I
Mhm.
really said that when Hamp and I started this thing, was we never wanted to create $1 billion company. We were, how can we help 1 billion people live happier, healthier lives, right? So
Yep.
how can we always refine the user experience to make them want to use the app? How are we
Mhm.
going to make it better for them, right? So that's kind of always been the goal in mind, and just refining that. But to answer your question, I do see it really growing in the next couple of years,
Okay.
especially like within the next year within the athletics realm, and then eventually branching off and finding different avenues as well through like nonprofits, business organizations, all
Well, I
that good
mean,
stuff.
you can tweak it towards yoga. I mean, there's just a multitude of different markets that you could really tweak this into. But I mean, the athletic side of it is so huge. I mean, you could focus on that for the next 20 years, and I don't think you'd still scratch the surface. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. Just about like everything in life, everyone's got
yeah,
24 hours in the day. How
yep.
can you maximize your
Well, just
24?
yeah,
So
utilize that time for where it is. Um, well, cool. I mean, that sounds amazing. What kind of drove you to say, you know what, I don't want to go to college and then get the job and the 9 to 5, or what kind of drove you this direction?
just seeing all my like friends, the former guys that I really looked up to on the team at Wake, and other people from my hometown. Just seeing them be always being like, "Enjoy it, man.
Mhm.
These are the best years of your
Yep.
life." And I was fortunate enough to do a couple internships too before I went back to school,
Okay.
and working for one very big company, and then two companies that were pretty decent size as well. And I loved it. I loved the people. I learned a lot in a really short amount of
Hmm.
time. So I was very thankful for all the mentorship I had. I just felt like, for me personally, I'm a person that always wants to learn. I want to explore. One of my life mottos is be curious, not judgmental, right? And
Hmm.
working a 9 to 5 job, I feel like, depending on that job, and I'm not obviously not dissing that, but I want to continue to learn and find new ways to grow and explore. And that's why I want to be an entrepreneur, because something new every single day. It's always a new week, right?
Oh, it never ends. Well, the good thing about it too is you never get to the end of the internet when it comes to it either. I mean, there's just always something new to learn every day. There's always a new challenge. There's always a new flying kick to your teeth that you don't expect. But
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is just make sure everybody on the team is playing their part and keeps playing their part. I think that's going to be the biggest challenge is you get all these guys, that are graduating and all right, are we going to be serious and make this a company, or are we going to, all kind of do our own separate things? So, I think raising a little bit of money wouldn't hurt. And that gives you a little bit of flexibility where, okay, now we can afford to be able to go after, those contracts and stuff like that. Or who's the one in the team that's kind of the primary sales guy?
It's actually, you're looking at them. I'm leading the growth team right now. So it's me, and then I got my two buddies as well, who are doing an amazing job. Sam Loper, he played football at Marist University. He's wrapping up his senior year.
Nice.
And then Xavier Simpson was one of my teammates back at Wake. He plays at Ball State now. He's going to take a 5th year.
Okay.
But they're both discipline and consistency. They're good at what they do.
Yeah.
And they have the mindset. So
yeah.
Right people on the bus.
Well, and I mean that, once again, they're also athletes and stuff like that. So you've got those connections inside the schools.
And it's another thing too with them that's so special is none of us became like the star player,
Okay.
right? We were all ACC, and we worked for everything we had,
Mm-hmm.
when we were in college, and we were in that together. Did all, so that's another reason why that's
sitting on the
so
bench
cool,
for a couple years and everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah, you had a lot of time to talk and
exactly.
share those
You hit it on the
experiences.
nail.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, but I think sometimes it can be if you're the star player. I mean, either you're going to go pro or it's you get done and you're like, crap. I had all this opportunity and I didn't take the time to think about it and do what you guys are doing. So I mean, I'm just proud of you for having the thought process to do that now. And you put yourself into a really good position where okay, I'm an athlete, I'm a college student. If you kind of have that still mindset of, what, we're just going to economize and get going and keep the shoestring as much as possible. And even if you get, any kind of investment in the company, still treat it like you're on shoestrings. Because I will tell you from working with a lot of accelerators and working with a lot of incubator programs, that's the biggest thing I see is as soon as people see the money, they get lazy a lot of times. And so don't let it, don't let it get to you. Just keep going, keep treating it the way you do. And it's going to work, man. I mean, you guys love what you do and you enjoy it. So keep enjoying it. And it's not really work. At that point.
It's not.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about, what, beyond that, what's kind of, growing the company is one thing. What's life going to look like after college ends?
Yeah, I think it's going to look very similar.
Okay.
Me and Hampton right now are trying to figure out exactly where we want to go.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that is dependent upon, our success in the spring. But we're thinking either Miami,
Okay.
that's where he wants to go. And then I'm from Richmond, Virginia, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
So we were thinking the Charlottesville area, getting like a condo there and then just paying a mortgage on that and splitting that. So
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, and I mean,
that's what we were thinking.
That the other part is it puts you right in the middle of all those colleges in that area.
Yes,
so,
100%.
Either way, I mean, there's a ton of them in Florida, a ton of them,
Yeah.
in the Virginia area and our surroundings. So either one that you do, it'll be smart to be there. It'll make it a little easier.
To answer that too, our other two buddies too, Sam and Zay, when they're done, they're actually moving as well.
Okay.
So it's going to be living the dream with us, just grinding and waking up every day at 5:30, hitting the gym, and nothing's really going to change. It's just going to be a new place, new location.
Yeah, you just don't have a school that you have to go to and do all that stuff unless you do some kind of a master's program or something. So
yes, sir.
Well, cool. Well, let's transition into the Fast Five questions. All right.
Sweet.
All right.
Let's do it.
So you wake up in the morning, business is gone. You have $500 in your pocket, a laptop, computer, place to live. What do you do first?
Call Hampton. Seriously.
Help.
Yeah, no, we would literally, I'm serious. We would lock each other in a room when we figure it out.
Okay.
I mean, that's my guy. I know that no matter what happens, we always figure it out. We've always been like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's what I'd do. And I know that we'd come out on top. We'd figure something out.
And you said you guys met what in like junior or freshman year? Or
Freshman year
okay,
roommates. Yeah.
nice, very cool.
Yes,
Well,
yes,
that's a
sir.
great relationship to have, man. I mean, that's some of my fraternity brothers in college are still some of my closest friends today.
Yeah.
35 years later. So just keep that relationship going. Okay, second one. Now you haven't had a whole lot of business, but what's your biggest business mistake?
Hiring the wrong people. I'd say, like I told you, you got to get the right people in the bus, and we had made a mistake probably twice,
Mhm.
having the wrong people on, and I would just encourage everyone out there to make sure you hire people that are going to fit your company values
Mhm.
and believe in the vision, and that's a mistake I made early on, and that cost us some time.
Yep.
So that would be that.
Yep. And it won't be the last time you make that mistake, dude.
Yeah,
It catches
let's
you.
hope not.
What's a
So.
good book that you'd recommend for our audience?
Yeah, one I really like is The Seven Habits of Highly Effective
Mhm.
People. That book's unbelievable. Really changes the way you think. So I'd recommend that one. And then his son actually wrote another one called The Speed of Trust,
Yep.
which I also really love. So I just like that family a lot.
Mhm.
They're all winners, and just try to find books that change the way you think for positive self talk and who you want to become.
Yeah. No, and Speed of Trust is fantastic. I've got a friend of mine that kind of adapted that a little bit and created a whole new. He's going to have a book coming out soon.
Cool.
He has a what he calls the trust credit score, Scott Carley. So, it's along those lines. It just kind of takes it to the next level. So,
Nice.
absolutely, I totally agree with you. What's a tool that you use in your business that you might recommend?
Art of AI, anything AI related,
Okay.
ChatGPT, like literally any software you possibly can get your hand on for AI.
Yep.
Um, Seriously, like you can literally, it's limitless, and then speeds the process up so much
Well,
faster.
and I mean
So
they're adapting it so incredibly fast. I mean,
so
I
fast.
it was
Yeah,
funny because I wrote 10 books last year, and with AI aided in the process, and I'm finishing up the 11th book, which I actually was the first book I wrote, and I tried to use ChatGPT in the 3.5 version, and it was
hmm
awful. I mean, it basically
yeah,
took the what I had recorded and put the transcript in and just destroyed it. And I've just not been able to get back to the book because it annoyed me. And I
yeah.
was using 4.0 last night, and I was like, okay, here's what I've adapted back. I fixed after ChatGPT 3.5.
Yeah,
What are your opinions? And it's like, well, blah blah blah. This was good. This is good. This is good. This was terrible. The format's awful, and all this. Would you like me to kind of reorganize it? Yes, go ahead. Boom. I mean, it pumps out a beautiful 1,300 word chapter. I mean, it just how fast it's moved in just less than a year is just insane. And it's just getting better.
4.0 is legit.
For
So
for well, no,
definitely,
4.0.
yeah,
I like 40.
four.
Yeah, Chat
Yeah,
40, I think
cool.
is just absolutely that one is so far ahead of everybody else that's out there. It's amazing. All right, last question for you. What is your definition of freedom?
My definition of freedom would be to do whatever I want, whenever I want, with the people I love.
Mhm.
Not being stuck in a system, and truly being able every single day to be able to explore, to be curious, not judgmental, to learn something new every day, and not be, held down by certain obligations and things I have to do, and just to live the life the way I want to live it, the way I was called to live.
I
So,
love it, man. Well, Walker, you are an amazing dude. I wish you nothing but luck. You're making your own luck. That's it. Just doesn't come to you. You've made your own luck at this point. So keep going. Can't wait to see how the product develops over the years. So if somebody's interested in learning a little bit more about Ascend, or about the app and all that, where's the best place to find information?
yeah, I would say our website, if you search up Ascend Meditations,
Okay.
it will pop up on Google. And then all of our socials are ascendapp.ai, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. And then obviously, I'm going to promote the app. Just download it on the App
Yep.
Store, search up Ascend Meditations, and try it out. Let me know what you think.
I love it. Love it.
Cool.
All right, Walker. Well, thanks a lot, my friend. Appreciate it. And folks, please reach out, check out their app. It sounds amazing. I can't wait to download it. I do have Android, so get that done as quickly as possible.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
I don't work with the evil empire. So yeah, let's go with Android. But reach out. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you are getting all the updates as we have shows that are coming out. We've got some really interesting stuff coming out very soon that I'll be able to talk about within the next couple weeks. An online community specifically focused around what I call stress-free retirement. So make sure you keep your ear to the ground. And as I was telling him, my 11th book is coming out here very soon. Once it's tweaked a little bit, I'll be uploading it to Amazon very soon. And that is the Freedom Day story. So make sure that you keep your ears peeled and watch the show, and I'll let you know when it's available. And I highly encourage you because it's going to help you get to your Freedom Day. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you guys back here the very next time.